Hello everybody, Walter here. Welcome to episode 8 of Let's Play series for Hardspace Shipbreaker. At the end of the last episode we managed to reach rank 10, which unlocked the coolant hazard plus the ECU and the Class II Reactors, which means that with the introduction of new game elements we have to go through some training. So with that said, let's jump back into the game and get started on that.
Good morning, Cutter 9346-52. LYNX would like to share the following inspirational message. The greatest reward in life is the chance to work hard at work worth doing.
So, let's get started with the equipment. We have some LYNX tokens to spend. And, yep, we have some more oxygen. That is very appreciated. Then, let's have a look. Maybe the thrusters. Yeah, definitely going to upgrade those. And with that I should also upgrade the brake. And yeah, that is all I can buy, right? No. So, let's get started with the training. And we're likely also going to see our first Javelin class, since that is usually used for this training here. Yeah, definitely a Javelin.
Alright, Cutter. Time to extract your first Class II reactor. This one's not quite as simple. Just pull it and barge it, right? Pretty straightforward. Well, I'm sure head office would rather the reactor was in one piece. Pulling this beast without proper prep is a sure way to print yourself a receipt for a new spare. Sure, prep. But you're on the clock, don't forget. As I was saying, like any reactor, it'll melt down soon as it's disconnected from its housing. And these Class IIs will melt down mighty quick unless you do two things first. First, release the connection to the thrusters. Second, remove the coolant from the ship's Environmental Control Unit, or ECU. Or just cut a hole, pull it, and barge it. Just make sure you clear an extraction route before doing anything, Cutter. Soon as you release the thrusters and mess with the ECU coolant, that reactor will enter a controlled meltdown. Oh, and if you're having trouble finding everything, try using the systems mode of your scanner.
If I had it unlocked. Anyway, I need to just briefly get this here depressurized. Okay. So, we have some parts. Nice. And now that we have the front part of this ship depressurized, let's worry about the back part. Although, it's only the cockpit really. Okay.
Airlock depressurizing. Airlock pressurizing.
And this is defect. That's annoying. Close this.
Airlock depressurizing.
And how am I going to do this?
Airlock pressurizing.
Okay, let's start with the cockpit, which I can hopefully, depressurize.
Air pressure level decreasing. Airlock depressurizing.
And that is going to be very annoying. It's just this segment here. We've reached a point where we will get occasionally in defect atmosphere regulators, so that is going to be a bit annoying. Let's move that out of the way. That's not flying around. So, and now I'm going to open this. And that's what happens if you don't.
Damage detected. Always
Be
use
careful.
LYNX branded repair kits to avoid invalidating your warranty.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so this is the reactor, but before I get to that, I need to actually make this whole thing here accessible. So let's get started by cutting off this part here. So, hopefully, not too heavy, I guess. Although, I think it's still connected here. So, first things first, I need to disconnect the thruster here. That's still too heavy, okay. So, those Javelin Class basically are a long tube of interconnected rings. And in the center you have the living quarters. So I'm just going to strip this layer by layer. And let's see, there's the arch. Okay, so that's the first thruster out of the way. I don't think I'm... Yeah, whatever. Let's quickly get this here out of the way.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
And then let's just get this out of the way. Now in this
Salvage registered.
smaller version of the Javelin, you can
Transferring
still
credit.
disconnect the rings into smaller parts. So here in this case you have the bottom and the top half, more or less. So that is nice to see. Here we can do something similar. So let's just disconnect the first few rings here. Oh, that's this one done. And then the last one there. So that should be all I need to disconnect of this.
Salvage accepted. Credit applied.
So
Object processed. Transferring credits.
I just need to open this up a little bit. Is this still connected somewhere? Did I miss a connection somewhere? Strange. Why is this still connected? Okay, sometimes the parts won't disconnect properly. Yeah, this time it's not an issue. It's a bit annoying. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Not going to properly disconnect or disassemble the entire thing anyway. This is just training. So, now, we have already disconnected the thruster. Now it's time to uncover the reactor, which is in this little
Object
housing
accepted
here.
for processing.
And I prefer to have everything prepared before I start a meltdown. Just be careful that you don't accidentally hit any of those pipes here or the reactor. That could cause some issues. Okay, that should be enough. Now, the reactor is connected to the ECU, which is this thing here. And that has, again, a panel. Let me out there. And once you have gotten that out of the way, you can see there are 3 coolant canisters in there, which we can pick up. And once the last one has been removed, the meltdown starts and we are on a timer. So now I can grab that.
Great work, Cutter. Handling both the
Move
thrusters
it straight
and
down.
ECU have given you a nice, long, controlled method. Well, I'll be. Well done, Cutter. You continue to impress. Now we just gotta work on improving the time. All right. We're done with training. We'll leave you be now. Great work today, Cutter. We were out.
And since I don't plan on properly recycling everything here, I'm just going to grab what I can for my own ship. As you can see, when I do this, this is all scrapped. There are some components that can actually survive that with just a slight loss in value, but most are scrapped completely, as you can see. So, that's this part done. This is also the main reason I depressurized the front part. Since there are, as you can see, also parts in here I would like to grab. We should probably do this only once there is no power left. Looks like there is still a power cell somewhere. Probably somewhere on the outside there. Yeah, that's what happens when you are not careful. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah, now we are for power. Almost with a power. So you can see this is a bit dangerous all in all. So let's see if we can.
That part is perfect for the armadillo. Check out the diagnostic program in your house to install it.
Oop, oop. Okay, that's enough for today. Okay, yeah, that's definitely enough for today. Health is low. Yeah, okay. At least got some parts out of this, so good enough, I would say. And with that, let's actually handle a ship we selected ourselves.
Good morning, Cutter 9346-52.
And we have email, okay. Let's check. Okay, from the Union. So anyway, I think I can probably upgrade something. I should also do a little bit of repair work. Yeah, it's looking good. I don't really have that much. Should I increase the range? Yeah, I should increase the range. The ships are getting bigger now. That may make sense. Okay, now time for a proper ship. And I think I'm going for the Javelin tanker small version next. So we have the Class II Reactor with the ECU, power cells, and a thruster Class 2. Okay.
Hey, D, you ever remember Iron Hands Romanoff?
Agrafina? You bet I do.
Like a cutter you've worked with? Well, not exactly. She's more like a legend among shipbreakers.
She was so strong, she could pull panels apart with her bare hands. That sounds not real.
Well, that may be. But there was an Agrafina Romanoff in the records, so there must be something to it. In fact, there are more cutter legends out there.
Yeah, I heard of the NAM, the original Sturgeon. I read she was adamant about never getting a spare. Lost limbs to avoid it.
Yeah, don't blame her, really. I don't even know what spare I'm on.
That's okay, Kato. That's what they're there for, after all.
Okay, so this is now a Javelin tanker, and those tend to have those rings, which are actually quite worth a bit. Now, in this case I can still cut them apart, but later on I will have to use a different tool to get them properly disconnected, at least if I want to harvest all of them. It's a little trick to get at least some of that out without the proper tool, but yeah, we are going to talk about this later, I guess.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
As you can see, they have quite a bit of worth and are not too difficult to harvest, at least right now. Okay, now, first things first, we need to depressurize
Salvage
everything.
deposit registered. Account credited.
Airlock.
Now, basic setup
depressurizing.
is, as I said, pretty simple. We have the tube, and then on one side, at least at the front, later on also at the back, we have a cockpit that sticks out and will also have to be properly handled. So anyway, let's see. And for some reason the scanner always causes some lag. We need to depressurize all of this. Good. And that's one way to get rid of the pressure. Data drive, nice.
Airlock depressurizing. Airlock depressurizing.
So that's this one done. Okay. Let's cut our way out. So we have the cockpit, which is at the front connected with just those two. And then we have the side here. And another side here. And then I can start grabbing the internals here already.
Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded.
And this part here can go straight in there. Now first check this area below, because usually you can find some goodies in there. And then we can grab this here and move that maybe with a tether over there. It's a bit overkill, but whatever. Then we can get those internals. And well, we're going to cut all of this here apart in a moment.
Applying credit to account.
But for now, let's get the easy stuff out of the way first. This also gives us more access,
Salvage
which is
deposit
also nice.
confirmed. Applying credit.
Then we have those two connection points at the top there. And then this whole thing here can go right there. And this whole thing can follow. Yep, nothing connected there.
Object. Applying credits to account.
And now this is open to the air. We can get in and start cutting these parts here. Where do I want to start? Let's start at the front. So, just going to cut this one here and this one here. And that should hopefully... Not. We may have to cut a bit more. Yeah, now we can move everything. So if you want, you can also disconnect the outer cage here, but it's not really necessary in this case. As you can see, we can move them as one whole part, since all of this here goes in the same processor. But it's not an issue at all. So, don't need to disconnect this ring.
Processing valuable deposit. Credits transferred.
You can see I don't really bother with separating the rings, since this doesn't really make much of a difference. Later on we don't even have those options anymore. I might as well do it without the disconnection. Oh. Although I might want to do it at least in this instance here. Okay, got 2 spots. So
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
it's not almost done. Now we have the special component down here. And now for the final ring. I think that's all. Okay. So let's get the grapple. I can get this over and this.
Processor deposit accepted. Credits awarded.
That's most of the armor of the top part already
Applying credit.
removed.
Salvage goal obtained. Additional rewards assigned. Processing object. Applying credits to account. Salvage secured. Credits deposited. Salvage secured. Applying credit. Processor deposit accepted. Credits awarded. Salvage deposited. Applying credit to account.
This is the bottom half, okay. Let's get that out of the way. Then the top half, yep, that works as well. You can go in there. You can go further down and then make your way over there. Hopefully this is enough.
Cutter, shift's got about 5 minutes left in her.
Yep.
Let's make them count. Leave her out.
Okay, that's looking pretty good already. So now let's make our way to the back. Let's actually start with this one there. And then entrance is at the top. Okay, good to know.
Deposit accepted for processing.
Let's see what we need to... Okay, this is completely pressurized.
Salvage
Okay,
deposit
let's do
secured.
this.
Credits awarded.
Airlock depressurizing. Airlock Depressurizing. Air pressure level decreasing.
That's going to be a bit annoying. Just hope let's see. Okay, the entire ship was moved a bit. But I was still lucky enough that it's not too heavy and... or that it's not too light, otherwise I might actually have ended up in the furnace. Yeah, that is something that can happen if you're not careful. Could have done this a bit earlier, probably. Anyway, this is now all depressurized. Okay, looking good. Now I can start cutting again.
Warning. Low oxygen levels detected.
Yeah, that's very low actually. Okay. That's annoying. That's really annoying for the last 2 minutes. Can't wait until I have the next upgrade, at which point I don't think I actually need any oxygen during the shift. Let's also grab some tellers.
Stabilizing.
And what's with you? You didn't make it all the way down, huh? Oh, anyway. Still have some cutting to do. We go over there.
Salvage registered. Transferring credits.
This is awesome. Small enough, I guess.
Object processed. Transferring credits. Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
So, that's
Salvage deposit confirmed. Applying credit.
one ring done. And now I can disconnect the thruster. And then maybe cut this into a few more parts. Since this is rather empty, I can just pull it off to the back and then just to the side.
Cutter. I'd say get a move on, but you know that already.
So,
Credits deposited.
let's see.
Salvage goals
You
met.
go over there.
Rewards will be paid.
That's the front part. Then this one down. This one is a bit too heavy for me, so let's cut this apart.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
And always stay far away from any of those pipes here. You wouldn't like what happens if you're not careful with them. So, first shift done, and 8.5 million, roughly 50%. Okay.
Good morning, Cutter 9346-52. All the team at LYNX would like to wish you a happy and productive day.
So, we have some more tokens. Do I want to upgrade? You know what? I'm going to do this in the next episode. So, let's continue. We still have some cutting to do.
Hello there, Rook. Just want to say, you're getting good. We should talk techniques sometime. Cutting's practically an art form, you know? Do you know about the Guardian cut? How to do it? Saved my ass the other day. You want to avoid a violent decompression? Instead of one cut, make a bunch of fast, long cuts. It spreads out the pressure and avoids a massive blowout. Hey, we should race sometime and compare notes. That would be fun. Maybe we can wager protein cubes. Make it interesting. Think about it. Lou out.
So, this is now making its way over there. And while we're here, we might as well get this part also somewhere in this direction moving. Just careful not to get it into the wrong spot, evidently. Okay, looking good. Now for the expensive part.
Credits deposited.
Okay, that's enough for now. And I need to get my way in there.
Credits transferred.
That's going to be a bit annoying. I know what. I'm going to do what I usually do in this case. Disconnect this whole plate here. I have to be a bit careful with that though. At least in earlier versions of this game, this was rather explosive. This plate was in earlier versions actually a bit dangerous to handle.
Raw material deposited.
Well,
Transferring
now,
credits.
if I have done everything correct, I should be able to hold this whole set. What? Okay, let's give this a bit more of a pull. And there you go. Okay, so now I should be able to access everything. And as last time, let's first grab the furnace, or the panel for the furnace,
Deposit accepted.
and then these here, and then I can grab the reactor and pull it out.
Reactor meltdown
Okay.
sequence triggered. Urgent action required.
Then I can cut off
Salvage goal reached. Rewards assigned.
the RCU or ECU. That goes also straight down. And now I have these parts here left over.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded. Salvage deposit registered. Account credited.
Now you don't really need to disconnect everything since all of those parts here land in the same spot. Basically. Oh, and we have some more parts. Another heatsink, okay. Now this one here you can either... Also I tend to try to hit it in those special spots here. That way I waste the least amount of material. And then all of this here can go into one of those. And that looks like another part for my ship.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
And we're
Salvage secured.
almost
Applying
done with
credit.
this part here. Didn't take too long, but this is a small tanker anyway, so yeah. Now for these here, I need to cut a little bit more, and here I have to handle this here and this here. If you're close enough, you can also use the
Processing valuable
cutter here. Just
deposit.
make sure that you're not accidentally cutting the tank itself. That would cause issues for obvious reasons. Since they are rather explosive. So then I'm just going to give it a push or two.
Fuel levels are low. Fuel supplies are available for purchase at the
Then
master
this one you
shaft.
can go straight down. Okay. Looking good so far. You can make a little push to the side, and then later on straight down. Then I have the outer cage, which is for the processor. And let's cut this off.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
So that's all of those parts done. Now I just need to disconnect the cage from this part of the ship here, so I can pull this apart. So let's just cut this in the middle. And that's that. I can pull. This is entirely empty, so let's pull this directly over there. This one goes over there. Just need to push this over there. And then this can go over there.
Object accepted
Okay,
for
now I just need to handle
credits
the
deposit.
internals here, and for that, yeah, let's just cut this into two.
Salvage destroyed. Please revisit your training.
And now I should be able to move those two apart.
Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded.
Anything left in here? Yeah, one more console.
Salvage deposit confirmed. Applying credit.
And another one.
Salvage registered.
That seems to be it.
Transferring
Okay.
credits. Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
I think this is connected at the top there with those two bins. And once those are out of the way, the wall comes off. Very nice. There should be a console. And then this one here is again for the furnace.
Salvage accepted. Credit applied.
This goes straight down. And this as well.
Salvage deposited. Applying credit to account.
And battery pack. And a chair.
Salvage deposit registered. Account credited.
And I think that's it. Last check. Anything missing aside of some lights? No, that seems to be it. Okay. And we're done with this ship
You
as
got
well.
5 minutes remaining in your shift, Cutter. 5 minutes. We were out.
Material accepted.
So, last check. Anything I missed? No, looks good. Okay, looking good. You're done. I would say. Although, why is... What's missing? Ah! Almost forgot about this one here. That would be a bit of a waste. Yeah. But let's use the time to buy some fuel and some more tethers. I'm not going to bother with the oxygen.
Welcome to
We are going to very soon
Tethers restored.
finish with the shift anyway. And there we go.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Oh, another 10 million. Rank 11.
Level has been achieved.
And that likely means we get a new ship, I suspect.
Good morning, Shipbreaker. This is your daily wake-up
Yeah,
call.
now we have the medium tanker, which has 2 of those tanker modules in the middle. And also 2 rings, as you can see.
Listen up, guys. I got something you'll all like.
Oh, are you leaving already?
I went ahead and got you all clearance to use something that'll make you 10 times more efficient. Easy. 20 times. You ready? Demolition charges. Spark free. These'll cut through damn near anything.
Wait. Spark-free demo charges?
That sounds pretty cool, Mr. Rhodes. Thank you.
No way. Not a chance. Damn things aren't new. Hell, I've been vaporized by those stupid things plenty of times.
Curazon, you're...
Spark-free. Things spark so much you could put one on a birthday cake.
Curazon! That's it! Come on now, Hal. I'm revoking your privileges for external communications.
You... what?
Yeah. No comms outside the station network. No more calls to Mars. All of you need to understand something. I represent the company, and you show me respect. Got it?
Hal, let's you and I sit down and talk about this.
That's all for now. Best get to work.
And the tourney starts here. It's not going to get better quickly. Yeah, let's have a quick look at the one email we got. And we also have data recovery, so let's get that out of the way too. So then we have the part for our ship.
I'm Shippy. I'm here to help you get this
And we also have for the next stage.
My prognosis is
And for this stage.
no time. Your ship's vitals are improving. Keep it up.
And that's it.
Successful transplant.
So we got a good chunk done already. That's nice. And now we have a couple of messages. We have the spark-free demolition charges. I will have to buy them though. They are not unlocked automatically. And then... some more propaganda. Okay. What? Ever. I think we're going to worry about all of this here in the next episode. And with that, we've reached the end of this episode here. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and comment. It really helps with the algorithm. In the event of that, I wish you all a nice day, and well, see ya.